Alrighty, today we are going to be talking about a TikTok that was posted not too long ago, and I've had a few people send it to me. It's by the account Fantastical Fatty, and it's mainly about why we don't see fat people in more public spaces. I think it's an interesting conversation. Before we get into it, what do you guys think of the new camera angle? It's a little bit wider. Is it too far away? Let me know. All right, I would appreciate it. But let's talk about this video. This is the video right here, and it says, I think there might be a typo here, but it says, why don't we see fat people out in so others? Because we're being excluded. So let's go ahead and see what this is all about.
I've really been thinking about why I don't see more fat people out in the world. Like, we exist, but where are y'all? And I look around at the communities and circles I hang out with, and I'm often the only fat person. And I think, is that because I don't have fat friends? Or is it because fat people don't come out? And this has really been bugging me because I went to an
it could be a mixture, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe you don't have many fat friends. Who knows?
event last night at a restaurant, and the only chairs they had were high booth level chairs that were small, that had arms, so I couldn't sit in it.
I definitely know how frustrating it is when you go somewhere and you have to be worried about like the seating arrangements. Like I remember when I was at my biggest, whenever I would go to a restaurant with friends or anything like that, my first thing that I would look for were the chairs, right? Look at the chairs. And I would always check to see if there were sides to the chairs, because if there are sides to the chairs, usually I couldn't fit in that chair. So I always kind of hoped that they weren't that. And then also, again, if they were only like bar height chairs, like I did not like sitting in those. It just was really, really uncomfortable, because usually those types of chairs are smaller and there's not much support, and you just feel kind of, I don't know, I felt very uncomfortable in the bar type chairs. And then on top of that, right, I think a lot of us can relate to the booth situation. And so if there was a booth, obviously I was always terrified I wouldn't be able to fit into it. And then so I would always hope that there was like it was like one of those half booths where it was like one part of it was the booth and then another part was chairs that you can like pull out, right? And so again, I can understand being frustrated about the like seating arrangements in certain places.
I couldn't get into it, and there was no front bar for my feet, so even when I tried to sit, I just slid right out of the chair and off it. I couldn't. It was not made for a person with an ample size bottom or thighs. And it just really got me thinking about how many things people in bigger bodies don't get to participate in, how many things we don't get to participate in because of these kinds of design choices. Fat people are at home being excluded.
So that's how it ends, right? It's not a very long TikTok. So fat people are at home being excluded. Now I want to make it clear. There are definitely some merits to what is being said here. And so it's frustrating whenever I talk about something like this and say, I feel, I agree with some of what is being said here, but then I disagree with some of the other stuff. And so it feels like you can either fully agree with everything that's being said, or you can fully disagree with everything that's being said. And if you say anything that you're like, I don't know, it's like, oh, you just hate fat people, right? So for me, as someone that did exist in a very, very large body for the majority of my life, I know how frustrating and anxiety inducing and scary it can be to go out to like public places and be worried about it. But I also know that for myself, part of the reason I didn't want to go out wasn't because I was like afraid of not fitting in places. I just didn't like going out. And so it's frustrating because it feels like everything is always some society's fault as to why people don't want to go out, or why, fat people are being excluded. I don't think that it's only that. I do think that we could improve the types of accommodations that we have in certain places. But at the same time, I think it's also important to understand that, like, if everything is larger, then there are going to be people that are excluded because of that. And then on top of that, if you're thinking about these businesses, right, if every chair is larger and everything is bigger, then there are less people that are able to go into those places, right? Also, it does feel like this video is making a problem out of something that I personally don't notice, because whenever I go out, which isn't often, but whenever I go out and I walk around and I'm, doing my grocery shopping or, taking a flight or whatever it is, if I look around, I certainly see bigger people pretty frequently. And so it feels like, again, this is just like, oh, I just want to make a TikTok. Let me come up with this kind of random thing. And then again, because the community that they probably have are going to agree and be like, yeah, it's because of this. It's because of that. It's because of this. And I see the same thing, right? I just feel like this is a problem that isn't really a problem, if that makes any sense. And the next thing that comes to my mind is like, okay, so how would we fix this perceived problem? Should we like start making everything bigger and then start marketing as like, now it's fat person friendly? Like, what would be the correct way to go about this? Because I feel like if you did that, people would be upset with that type of marketing and that being the way that you know, tried to, like, people would just say, oh, you're just trying to say this as a marketing ploy to get more people in your establishment. For me, the way I see it is, if you see this as a problem in your community, a community that you're a part of, right, that you seem to be a big advocate for, it feels like this is something that you should be trying to figure out. Like, why is my community not comfortable with going out? And then what can I do about it? Instead of, my community is uncomfortable. Everyone, you need to change everything around us and the things that we're a part of so we can feel more comfortable in these spaces. Instead of like, how do I make a space to make other fat people more comfortable around me or in these places that I'm going? Because clear, you're able to go to these places, right? Again, the experience that you said doesn't seem like it was a very fun experience for you. So then why don't you make a place or have a situation where the people that are like you are more comfortable with you, right? Instead of trying to make other people conform to how you feel about certain things. The reason I say that is because, the only example that was brought up really in the video was the seat example kind of thing, right? And it's like, do we just make all seats bigger? Like, okay, do you really think that's the only thing that is making people uncomfortable? Like, I really doubt it, right? And so it seems like there's more to it than just, oh, the seats aren't big enough and that's it, right? And so if people really aren't, in your community, right, that you're a part of, aren't comfortable going out, it feels like it would be more beneficial to try and talk to people like, why are you so uncomfortable? What can we do to make you feel more confident in yourself to be going out to these places, instead of, oh, these places just need to change like their seats and then everyone will be okay? Like, I feel like that's clearly not that's not going to solve any of these problems here. Just like sometimes when I watch videos like this, it's like, this is a problem I've noticed. It's like, okay, and what next? It's just like, I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up. All right. Well, like, what do you want to do about it? I don't know. You figure it out. It's just like, well, okay. I mean, if you notice it's a problem, like, let's try and work on it. No, you need to figure it out. It just feels like it's like, this is a problem I've seen. All right. What next? Those are just my thoughts on the whole situation. Again, I do think that it can be very frustrating when you're a bigger person and, the whole, especially with the seats, I understand what that feels like, like being afraid of the types of seat, like if it's a plastic chair, not wanting to sit in that, if it's a chair that has arms in it, not wanting to sit in that, all that kind of stuff. I understand that it can be frustrating, but it is what it is. Like, chairs are made out of plastic, and yeah, it's probably not best for you to sit in it. Like, it just is what it is, right? There are tiny little kid chairs that I wouldn't want to sit in either, and so it just, I don't know. The way I see it is like, it is what it is. I don't see that being the solution to fix all the problems. But again, those are just my thoughts. Those are my opinions. I would love to know what you think down in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching the video. See you next time. Peace.